Building on last week's video about Anne Lamott and her chapter on the shitty first draft, I wanted to talk a little bit about rejection and failure in doing creative work specifically. I've been submitting short stories to small literary journals for the past couple of years, and I recently received my 25th rejection slip. Now, to a lot of writers, this may sound like a really small number, and they would probably just tell me to keep writing and keep submitting, and they may be right. And I'll be honest with you, not all rejection slips feel bad. Some of them actually feel quite encouraging, and to a lot of us new writers, it feels a bit like a rite of passage, since most of our heroes in the literary world also received a giant stack of rejection slips before they got published. F. Scott Fitzgerald received 122 rejections before his work was accepted, and it's kind of famously known that J.K. Rowling was turned down 12 times before Harry Potter got picked up. My favorite writer, Larry Brown, has this great saying that he wouldn't do the crime if he couldn't do the time. And he was saying that referencing his ability to weather rejection slips. I think he wrote 4 novels and hundreds of short stories before he was ever published. Getting this most recent rejection letter prompted me to go back and watch a video I've seen a couple of dozen times. It's by Ira Glass, who hosts the show This American Life. And it's an older interview, and he talks about this idea that when we get started, we have good taste when we get started in creative work, and we know what good work looks like, but it's the work that we're doing, the work that we're producing isn't great. And so there's this gap that's created between the work that we're making and what we know to be good work. And his advice is very simple in nature, so simple that you could almost blow right by it and look for a different piece of advice. But his advice is just do a huge volume of work, to just keep going, to get more cycles and reps under our belt until we start making the kind of work that we know to be good. There's no shortcuts, there's no hacks. You can't in 12 days become a better writer or a better leader or a better entrepreneur. We just have to keep putting in the work. And so my unsolicited encouragement this week is not unlike last week's, but instead of telling you to get cranking on your shitty first draft, I would encourage you to keep going on your second or third or fourth one until you start making work that you're proud of and that eventually gets accepted into the world.